So this is really where the second part of the tour takes off, and we start leaving that common area by the front door and we start walking through the building. And really, I would say this, that walking through the building is irrelevant. It does not really matter. But it goes back to, this is the expectation of the family for the tour. They think they're going to walk through the building and see the little stuff and find the pricing. We are using this opportunity to play the Candyland game, going from spot to spot to spot, and investigate their pain so that we can solve their pain. Because honestly, if they do not have big pain, why are they here? I mean, we charge $8,000 to $9,000 per room. They are not willing to spend that money unless there's a lot of pain, right? Whatever amount you charge, it's still a lot. It's still a lot more than rent and staying at home for mom, right? So what is that? We get up, we walk near the great room here, right? We have our grandmas with their bunny hats on, and they are seeing the environment here. Now, I've written out these next few slides with this kind of structure. At the top, it says common pain, and near the middle, it says talking point. So we'll go step by step by step, just like Laura's Candyland analogy, and we'll say from each room, here are the common pain points that most people have when you're getting into this kind of stage. And here are the talking points that we use on our tour to investigate the pain and then to solve the pain. So as you're walking through, it says, mom doesn't want to be in a gross, smelly facility, right? That's a very common thing. No one wants to be in a facility. They want to be in their own home. But so I would say, depending on your niche and whether you're in the early stages of assisted living or in the end stages of assisted living, you might be coming from home or you're coming from another facility. A lot of our grandmas come from another facility. So they're already in that place. So here's what we're talking about here. And you can take some of these things as examples. You can make them your own. You can use some of ours. But this is honestly what we do, right? We talk about these talking points here. We do life together like a family in a large upscale home. We do not have a big smelly facility, right? We have a big, beautiful home. Everyone's got their own private rooms, private bath with a chef and a salon, right? It's just big old glass walls and window walls, and it's gorgeous. And then they see the environment. We've talked through this. They're sitting there, they're watching the atmosphere, what's happening, and it speaks for themselves. And then we're going to walk from here, we walk over to our medication cart, and we have that medication cart kind of right in that same area next to the great room. And so as we're walking past, it's like, hey, well, here's our caregivers, here's our med techs, right? They're getting ready to pass meds. And then here's the common pain that they have, that most families have. Mom is not getting her meds correct, right? She's not getting the right time, the right dose, or she's refusing meds. So this is honestly one of the biggest problems that people have going from mostly other facilities, right? Is you have people who are med techs and they might not be on 24/7. You might not have anyone who's able to pass meds at night, and she may have night medications. They might just not care. And they're like, hey, she's supposed to get 2 pills a day, so I gave her 2. But it's supposed to be, 8:30 a.m. and 5 p.m. because these are her blood pressure medications and she needs them within 15 minutes of those time. And they don't care, right? And that is a big problem. Or they constantly saying, hey, mom's just not taking her meds. She's refusing. Well, no crap, she's refusing. She has dementia. We have to find a plan on how to get her to take the meds, whether they're crushed, whether you put them in whipped cream. There's lots of different things that we do, right? So we have our own talking points. All of our Platinum Angels, those what we call our caregivers, they're all med delegated. After about 90 days, we have trained all of them. Our nurse comes in, trains all of them. That's even our night staff. Every single day, at every part of the day, there is somebody who can give medications, because honestly, sometimes at the most random times, you need to give medications. And then our managers, they're usually the ones doing the tour, are saying, hey, we are managing the medications. There's a lot of times as you get to end of life and dementia, you are playing back and forth, trying to dial in medications as people are declining. And you have to work with the doctors. You have to work with the family, work with the hospice companies and the pharmacies. And all of this, our managers are saying, this is what we do. This is our bread and butter. We are taking care of all of this kind of things for you. The kitchen, I would say this is the second biggest pain point people have is food. Medication's number 1, food number 2. And so it's right there, right? You see our chef here. He's Ricky. He is cooking up, he's plating, and he will plate like 20 plates, right? They'll feed all of our grandmas, feed our staff, feed our managers. And here's the biggest common pain point that families have is that mom is not eating and she's losing weight. And nobody monitors what she does eat. So when you're at the big smelly facility, they drop the plate at the room And then they walk away and nobody checks. Did mom eat it? Is mom, are there anybody encouraging mom to eat it? Does she like this kind of food? Is she allergic to this food? Nobody knows. They don't care. They have 1,600 other people to take care of, right? They're just like, they can't provide any great care. So mom is not eating, and then she's finding out she's losing weight. Every time the doctor comes and they put her on the scale, she's lost another 8 pounds. It's like, my mom's gonna starve to death in this facility because nobody cares enough to make sure that she's eating properly. So this is what we do. And we literally have Ricky there, and he's always plating, he's always cooking. You see the interaction. And so literally this is how we run our meals, is our Platinum Angels sit down at our tables with our grandmas, and they literally sit there with them and they help feed them, because our niche is end of life and memory care. And you do literally forget how to chew and how to swallow as you go through dementia. So there's all sorts of stages. Some people don't need any help. Some people need their stuff cut up. Some people, it's just cueing, which means like, hey, just let's take another bite. You just kind of reminders, constant reminders. Or sometimes it's literally full feeding, where you pick up the spoon and you put it in their mouth and you encourage them to chew and swallow. And this is what we do. This is the end of life niche. It's not an easy, glamorous thing, but this is what actually good care looks like. We talk through that. They'll literally meet the chef, meet Ricky, and be like, hey, he has memorized every single grandma and grandpa, what they like, what they don't like. If he is making salmon salad for lunch one day, he specifically knows that these 2 grandmas do not eat fish, and he pulls out chicken and he does chicken for them, right? Like you don't have to tell him. It's only 16 people. He has it memorized. He's able to go ahead of time and make nice for them. It's the same routine, right? Every single morning, this certain grandma just likes oatmeal just like this. We can take care of that. We don't have 64 other residents to take care of. We run 16s, that's it, with one chef who can take care of all these things. And then all of our caregivers, they monitor and track all the food. We track their hydration, and we track what their food is. It's all on a little checklist every single shift. So all of these things, if this is your pain point, right? If there's the one thing where your mom is at the assisted living and she is literally getting food dropped off at the door and not eating it, and every time you come, it's just sitting there and she's losing weight, you're like, I got to get mom out of here. You know what? Boom, this is big pain, and we are here to solve it. We are asking these questions as we are going step by step by step through the tour. Then our salon is right there. So we'll talk about this. You see some of our grandmas getting their hair done. So we talk through all the different outside services we have. And I think, honestly, this is kind of a transition point where we talk about not the grandma's pain, but we talk about the family's pain. Because honestly, like, the family gets overwhelmed by the amount of care and the stuff that they have to do, all the doctor's visits, all the medication stuff, especially if you're trying to order the medications and refill it. Oh my gosh, it can be super overwhelming. We've had a lot of families that will come in tears thanking us for what we do, and they're able to go back to work again. They're able to be the wife again. I mean, a lot of times you take care of your loved one and like your marriage suffers, like your work suffers. You have to quit your job. So many things literally just take over your life. So for these talking points, it says outside services 10x. And that's a reference to literally we have 10 different outside services. That means those are companies that come into Platinum that we do not pay, that it's either a state service or the insurance for the grandma goes through it. So like here, our barber, right? We have a barber that comes in every 2 weeks, takes care of all the grandma's hair. We have the hospice, we have the home health, we have the chaplain, we have the dentist, we have mobile vaccine, mobile x-ray. I'm probably missing a few other things, but all of these things, our managers are there to be the point person. They coordinate all of these things. Mom literally does not have to go out. She does not have to go to a doctor's visit anymore. Our doctor's PA comes in every single week and makes rounds. Everything happens in our building. So then we continue down the tour. We start walking through, we hit one of the bedrooms here. And their biggest complaint, their biggest pain point is mom is left in her room alone all day in the dark, just sitting there with the Price is Right on repeat. That's it. All day long, she's just sad and depressed. And a lot of them are. It's really horrible. You go to the big facilities and that's what it is. They're just in the rooms. That's not what we do, right? We bring all of our grandmas and grandpas out. Every single day, they are coming out. There are some of them that don't want to come out, and we're very work hard at pulling them out. But a lot of times, we have great interaction. And it's not like at the end of life, they're doing all sorts of crazy games and stuff. They're all just sitting together on the couch and the recliners and just doing their 95-year-old thing. But they're not in the room. They're interacting. They're there, so they're not ignored. They're there so they don't fall and get missed. And sometimes, we'll tell them, like, there are some grandmas that just want to be left alone in their room. We'll bring them out for meals and those things. But a lot of times, one-on-one activities, we will have the caregiver in there and just quality time, just holding the hand, just talking to them. That is important. If mom does not want to come out of her room, then one of our staff will go in there and spend quality time with her. And I think here's an important note is small rooms. A lot of people think, oh, I can't sell this room, it's small. You know what? Here is your talking point. It does not matter the size of this room. Mom is not going to be in her room. She's going to be out in the great room. She's going to be part of activities. She's going to be hanging out with her girlfriends. She's going to be out here all day long. She's only going to be in this room to sleep. She does not need a big room, right? You can be in this room. This is just fine because we're going to have her out, in the great room all day long. That's my talking point. We have a couple rooms at Mesa that are a little smaller, and that's what we say on those kind of things. And then we move into the bathroom. This is another really important one too. Their biggest pain point. Mom is going to sit in a wet brief all day long. And so then we start going into, here's what we do. We do personalized wake up and sleep routines for all of them. We know what they like. We know how they wash their face, how they brush their teeth. We have somebody, it's the same caregiver, and they're gonna know and memorize, here's how we take care of them in the mornings, in the evenings, how we pick their clothes for them, what kind of clothes they like wearing. All of these kind of things, we will have a personalized routine for them so that they can do all of their stuff. We're not just going to throw them in the bed and just send them to bed, right? They're going to have their thing to be able to wind down for the day, get ready for the day. Bed checks. We do every 2-hour bed checks. That's literally throughout the entire night. I was kind of surprised that when I first got into this industry, I didn't know that we'd actually do that. That's what we do. And even in the middle of the night, our night staff, they pop in and they do bed checks. And these grandmas will sleep through the whole thing. But if your brief is wet or you have BM in the middle of the night, we change you right there in bed, right? Especially as you get to end of life. That's what it is. And a lot of times it's reminders and it's cueing for toileting while you're out in the great room. We're going to, every 2 hours, before lunch, after nap time, all those things, we're going to take care of that. Same with showering. We do scheduled showers. We'll have somebody in there depending on your needs. A lot of times it's, hey, we'll let you do your thing. We'll just monitor. Or as you decline a little bit more, it's full showering assistance where we get the wand out and we clean everything and do all the whole thing, right? Like nobody is going to have a fall, slip in the shower and get left there, right? Same with on the toilet. No one's going to get left on the toilet. Somebody is going to come by every 2 hours at least to check on mom. And then we walk past our hallway has that big glass wall with the bamboo garden. And we start talking about popsicle parties that we do and Father's Day and Mother's Day out there and barbecues and all these kind of things. It's just another space for families to come and our chef will set up dinner for them out there and they can have their own little private dinner on the back patio. So lots of different things, right? That's really us finishing the Candyland game. And really along the entire tour, step by step by step, we're searching for pain. We're emotionally connecting, we're bonding with them, and we're really just we're solving the pain one step at a time. When they talk about the food, we're just gonna say it right there. We're solving that pain. It's like, okay, check off the list, check off the list, check off the list. When we get to the end of the tour, there's no objections left. If we did our job right, there is no objections. It's just like, okay, what's the price? Where do I sign? This is it. This is all you need to know, right? They've seen the environment. They've probably already toured a bunch of facilities and they know they're all crap, right? Like, here's the one. So, this is what it looks like here. We get to our offer, and I keep this super simple. This is what it is. This is pretty much our word track. We'll walk back to the front, and if it's a good fit, I'll say, hey, you know what? I think your loved one is a great fit for us. I would love to be able to take care of him or her. We're going to create this care plan for him. It's going to look like this. We're going to solve this pain in this way. And I don't say that. We'll solve this pain. Then we're going to solve this pain. Then we're going to solve this pain. Then we're going to solve this pain. Here's how we're going to do all of these kind of things. And then that's about it. Like there's the low pressure thing. We are solving all of your pain. I think this is a great fit for us. We would love to be able to take care of her. Do you think this is a good fit? And that's the whole offer right there. That's the whole structure of what we do.